Hi, how are you today? This is Donna Carroll speaking, and today is January 19th, 2020, and I'm very happy to be here with you today, whether you watch this live or possibly later as a video. So today I'm going to channel Archangel Raphael, and today we are going to channel healing energy for our core wounds. Okay, so everybody has a core wound, at least one. Um, for instance, my core wound would be betrayal and not being supported. Other people's core wounds could be abandonment, or they could be not feeling loved, not feeling wanted. Um, or, it could be many different things based on your own particular karma. So I'm going to channel Archangel Raphael in a couple of minutes, but first I wanted to say that I had a pretty good week, ups and downs as usual. My sun sign is Pisces, so I'm always feeling everything to the nth degree, which is a blessing and a curse. But in the fall, or actually before the fall, I decided I needed to get out more and meet new people. So I joined a crochet club, and I'm teaching myself to crochet with the help of some ladies that work at the library once a week. And it's been really good because they're just so sweet and nice, and they have good energy. And I'm learning to crochet, and they crochet blankets for charity. Some of them do, the Linus Project. So my first Afghan that I'm making, I'll donate to the Linus Project. And when police all over the world actually go on calls and there's children involved, they give the children a little blanket that's been hand crocheted or handmade by someone, which I think is a great idea, and also very personal. I mean, having something that's handmade is wonderful, but it's made with love, and the intention is to help these children that are undergoing very stressful situations. So I just think, what better way to spend my time? And I've always done things with my hands, sewing, and I know I've done needlepoint and cross stitch, but now I'm learning crochet. So, but the reason I mentioned these lovely ladies is because some of them go to lunch once a week. So last week, for the first time, I joined them for lunch, and I had it was a fantastic lunch because we went to a French cafe. And as soon as I walked in the cafe, I started getting all these feelings of nostalgia, sentimentality, just feeling really good. And the reason I felt that way is because and the cafe had everything, all the French pastries, and I had quiche and for lunch, and soup, and it felt like home. And I know why, because in my last lifetime, I was actually living in France, in southern France. I don't know exactly where, but I was a cloistered nun, and so I lived in the convent. And I went to a medium about 10 years ago, and she channeled that I was a nun and I lived in the convent, and I was dropped off there as a child around 6 or 7 because I was sick. And my parents were very poor, and they could not afford to take care of me. So they took me to the convent, which is what they did in those days. There was no social services. So I grew up in the convent. And I decided to stay there when I became of age, and I became a cloistered nun. So I did have a very sheltered life. I was known for my writing because I was a mystic. And my favorite book in this lifetime was Madeline. I don't know if you know that book, Madeline. I loved that book when I was a kid, but it's about this young girl that's going to school in a convent, or raised in a convent. I just remember the rows of beds in a line, and everything was very orderly. And so that was my last life. So when I went to that French cafe, it was like, I was feeling all that energy, and it felt good. Um, Anyhow, so I spent my whole life there, and I don't know much else about it. I do know that another gifted healer was working on me, and she said, oh yes, you were a nun, and she said, you engaged in yogic flying. So I would leave my body and fly. I don't know if it was in the physical or astral, but I was doing levitation and yogic flying probably because I wanted to see what was beyond the convent. Can you imagine being cloistered your whole life? But I know that's true because I tend to do that now in the astral. I fly a lot. I love to fly. So, and I also want to tell you that when I first found out about that lifetime from the first medium that told me that I was a nun, I was like, no way, that's crazy. Like, I didn't believe her. And then come to find out it's true, because my guides, the Arcturians, showed me that lifetime. And usually when the Arcturians work with me, it's in a semi-sleep state. I'm falling asleep or I'm waking up, and I'm lucid dreaming. And they showed me the lifetime. They showed me what I looked like, which was a very small, petite, thin French woman. But I did have light brown hair and light eyes. And I was like, well, that's definitely not me in this lifetime. So it was very interesting, and I would like to find out more about that lifetime. I would like to fly to southern France and try and find the convent, because it brings me happiness and happy memories. In a way, I kind of relate to that lifetime, and I still carry over those traits. I can be quite a loner. I like to be meditating. Well, not meditating exactly, but I like to be isolated. Because sometimes when I go out into public, my vibration comes down because I'm taking in the energy of other people. So I do carry over a lot of those traits, and I like to write, and all of those things. But actually at the same time, or a little bit before, but concurrently, I was also living in India, and I was a guru in northern India. And so in that lifetime, I had people that would come to me for satsang and teaching and things like that. So I was living at least 2 lifetimes concurrently, and I would not be surprised if I were living more than 1 lifetime in this particular go around too. But getting back to my core wound, and we're going to work on that today, this lifetime, and I want to say first of all that my goal in my presentations is to be authentic as possible. So I'm not here to make people feel good. Feel good as far as bringing in spiritual energy, but I intend to be very truthful about the things that I say and the things that I do. And speaking of this truth, I have had a very difficult lifetime in this particular incarnation. And if you asked me if I wanted to relive it, I would say no. It's been hard. It's been rough. And the betrayal wound that I carry, that I actually carry from former lifetimes, I was martyred and things like that. But in this lifetime, I was betrayed by both of my parents, very young, the ultimate betrayal, really. And that really kind of set the tone for the rest of my life, which has been a lifetime of, I would say, not really yet fully being in myself, experiencing my gifts and what I have to offer as far as service, because of the betrayal. So I keep people at arm's length. I do not trust people, unfortunately, because they have let me down so severely in the past. And so my core wound is betrayal, and I'm trying to heal that so that I can fulfill my soul mission. which I'm really just starting out on, even at the young, ripe age of 54. And also, I do have a twin flame in this lifetime, and that relationship has been very difficult, filled with manipulation and control and miscommunication and betrayal. So I'm not saying that I'm not responsible for some of that, but as far as being a child and being betrayed by my parents, I don't think I could have controlled that at that age. So I have a very tenuous relationship with my family, both my immediate and extended family. I've been single my whole life, and I have information and see things about the family that others cannot see. They're in denial, and so it makes it very, very difficult. I don't feel supported. I don't feel like I have a family. So when I went back to that cafe, and I kind of remembered that last lifetime where I felt supported, I did have a family. The convent, the nuns, it just made me feel good. So I want to, of course, heal this wound so I can pursue my soul mission. And my soul mission is a big soul mission. I know that. It's a public soul mission, which I have mixed feelings about. I approach it with trepidation, as I have been martyred. And I'm just hoping, I hope they don't kill me this time. I mean, that's really where I'm coming from. But my soul mission is to reestablish the Lemurian culture and bring in the Lemurian energy upon this planet. I'm a channel. I'm the original channel for the Divine Mother Goddess of ancient Lemuria. So when this civilization ends, and it will, and people have mixed feelings about that, but let me tell you, it's in the Bible. The meek shall inherit the earth. And I will tell you that I know the time is close. So after this civilization ends, which is, in my viewpoint, a pretty decadent, self-serving civilization, I think the people are doing the best they can in a society that is alienating and does not support them. I know there's a lot of good people out there, but I also know there's a lot of people with issues that need healing. So this civilization is on its way out, and nature will cause the end of this civilization. So Earth is always shifting. When the new civilization begins, I am responsible for bringing in the energy of that civilization, which incorporates the divine feminine principle, which is why I have a female body in this lifetime, because I've had many lifetimes as a male guru, particularly an Indian male guru. I have a lot of Indian karma, East India, not American Indian. But I've also recently had a lot of European lifetimes. So long story short, I have to purify myself because I'm nowhere, well, I shouldn't say nowhere close. But I'm not yet ready to take on that mantle. So I have to clear these wounds within myself, purify myself. That's what I've been doing. I gave up my little gambling thing last year. I gave up my sleeping pill addiction last year. Now I'm giving up sugar. I do not eat sugar, and I have a much healthier diet of green drinks and salads and healthy proteins and carbs because I have to purify my body. So I know I'm talking a lot about myself, but this is healing for me because it's difficult when you're a little bit different, which I am, as I am a guru and have been for many lifetimes, to express that publicly. It's a little bit challenging. And as far as my feelings towards people, I love them and I mistrust them at the same time. And that is a direct result of my karma. I'm hoping to clear the slate. I'm sure that you have similar feelings because I'm sure that you have been let down by people as well. Anyhow, I appreciate you listening to that. And again, I'm just hoping that I can get to the south of France and find the convent from my last lifetime. I've already been to India a couple times, so got that covered. But today, what we're going to do, I think you know that I work with the angels, the archangels. I also work with ETs, the green-hearted healers. I work with the Arcturians. I love them. I love them all. They're also, my friends are my guides. They're my friends. And I have a couple of people here that are my friends, but not too many. Like I said, I have a mistrust of people, which needs to be healed. Anyhow, so I channel the Arcturians, the green-hearted healers. I can channel Pleiadians, Syrians, Andromedans, Arcturians, the Indian masters. So I've channeled Lord Shiva, Krishna. I've channeled the Christ and Buddha. So I channel a lot of entities, and I love channeling the archangels. These entities always bring in very lovely, beautiful, healing energy. And I love channeling because after I channel, I'm in a much higher state of consciousness, and I feel a lot more love towards humanity. I love animals, all types of animals. I just adore them. And I always have ever since I was a little kid. So, but without further ado, I'm going to channel Archangel Raphael, and he is going to bring in energy to heal our core wounds. So I'm hoping that you receive and benefit from his love and his healing energy. And I just want to say to you that I appreciate all of you, and I really pray for your highest destiny, which probably would be enlightenment, being in the enlightened state, which I have actually experienced once in this lifetime, but then I came out of it. But it's an amazing state to experience. So I pray for your enlightenment. I pray for your spiritual guidance. I pray for you encompassing your soul mission, finding it, encompassing it, and working it, being it in the fullest extent possible. So if everyone could heal their wounds and become self-actualized, this would be an amazing world, and we're moving in that direction. So all is good. Okay, so I'm going to bring in Archangel Raphael, and we'll let him speak. Okay. So at this time, I call in the highest, and I want to say hey to everybody out there. Thank you for watching. So at this time, I call in the highest and best healing and channeling angels. I call in my highest and best guides. I call in the archangels, Archangel Gabriel, Archangel Michael, Archangel Ariel, Archangel Raphael. I ask for 10,000 warrior protection angels around me and anyone watching this video or who will watch this video at a later time. I ask that these angels protect us if anything's released by either me or anybody out there. I ask that the angels take it to source. Please transcend it and transmute it into light. And lastly, I ask for Yeshua to oversee and overlook my channeling, make my words clear, accurate, loving, and truthful, and helpful, healing. And so now we bring in Archangel Raphael and ask him for a message for everybody today. Yes, we are here. It is Archangel Raphael, and I am here today to greet you with celestial love and blessings. We do understand that it has been difficult for the channel in this lifetime, and that you have also undergone and experienced many difficulties in this lifetime. We are sure as well. But know that there is a purpose behind your suffering. Many of you have undertaken, many of you light workers have undertaken difficult paths in this lifetime, as it is a very important time in the consciousness of humanity, as you are in the middle of the great shift of the ages. whether you realize it or not. But many of you light workers, those who can handle the added burden, are clearing tendencies that are not of the highest order for the collective consciousness. So those of you who have taken on abusive lifetimes, or lifetimes where you have been betrayed or not supported, lifetimes where you've been maligned, where you've been mocked, where you have been humiliated, all of this suffering is not without a purpose. As you experience these energies and as you process them throughout the emotional body in particular, but also the physical, mental, spiritual bodies, you are transmuting this energy for the collective consciousness. So understand that the core wounds of humanity, and the most pertinent wound of humanity, is, as the Arcturians say, sexual usury or sexual degradation. People that have been exploited sexually is the core wound of humanity as a whole. We want to reiterate this because those of you that have suffered sexual abuse or that type of wounding understand that this has to be cleared out from the collective consciousness of humanity. And some of you have taken on this role in this lifetime. And for this, we thank you and want you to know that there is a higher purpose with all of this suffering. We understand today that it is very avant-garde to say that you can manifest your own reality and you can create whatever you want and all of these things. And we would say, yes, this is true. You can create your own reality. You can manifest. This is your original soul blueprint to be divine creators. However, there is a cleanup process upon planet Earth, and you can create within limited parameters. The divine laws are always at work in this reality. There are divine laws, universal laws set up dealing with karma and just the structure of reality that cannot be circumvented. In other words, an oak tree cannot become a maple tree because it decides it wants to become a maple tree. Do you understand our point? Yes, you can create within a limited paradigm, but you cannot click your fingers and turn yourself into an ant. You cannot click your fingers and turn yourself into an elephant. We all know this to be true. So those who are purporting unlimited divine potential for creation do not understand the laws set down here by the Creator. There has to be some order for life to be sustainable. If everybody were doing whatever they wanted willy-nilly, how would life interact? How would these entities interact with each other? And how would there be any societal order, any type of system that is interrelated and working? There is more possibility to create in the astral realms and the realms of consciousness where you are out of body. But yes, there are still divine laws in those places. The divine laws are quite specific and set down by Prime Creator many, many years ago. So fads and fashions come in and out of human consciousness, but the divine laws are eternal. And we will also say that humans live in this creation and they create in this creation, but they have to work within certain parameters. And even the angels who incarnate and Prime Creator herself who incarnates in this reality has to work within the parameters of the earth reality, which is shifting. We will tell you it is shifting. You are going from a very dense, a very dense world, a very structured world, into a world where there will be more fluidity and, yes, more light as these beautiful young souls come down to transform the earth. And they have already incarnated in droves. We're talking about the crystals, the rainbow children, the indigos, and the moonbeam children. They are here to set up the new realities and bring in their technical expertise from the worlds in which they have come. Also understand that these souls, many of them do not have past experiences on planet Earth, so they need a lot of love, a lot of caring, and a lot of support, as this is a very foreign place for them, and many are having difficulty in adjusting to life here. But we digress. We, Archangel Raphael and my beautiful team of healing angels, are here today with a specific purpose. We want to help you clear your core wounding. So take a moment and go within your psyche and think about your relationships or your experiences that you've had in this lifetime. And we want you to come up with one word that would describe the wounding that you've experienced from childhood or adulthood, something that has caused you great pain. It could be alienation, it could be not being wanted, not being loved, abandonment, and the ramifications of a core wounding will always be separation. Ultimately, if you go back far enough, the core wounding is the separation from God, her or himself. So what's happening in the shift throughout the ages is that the individual or the individual psyche, which has experienced many, many wounds over the many lifetimes in which they've incarnated in Earth, where they have felt unloved, underappreciated, etc., etc. Essentially, they have felt separated, and the separation is a separation from God. So if you experienced a very difficult relationship, let's say with your mother, you're feeling separate from your mother, but your mother is an instrument and a reflection of God. So you have experienced a separation from God. We are going from little individual beings into a collective consciousness where we love and respect each other and we work through the heart. So this is a big, big shift. And although the channel mentioned the core wounding of humans is sexual abuse, we would agree to that. That is the core wounding of the human psyche, but the ultimate core wounding in the soul is separation from God. And many angels left heaven, as you know, many eons ago, and they did separate themselves from God. And we are happy to report that many of those angels are coming back into the bosom of their mother, but they still have issues with fear, anger, resentment, grief, and my angels and the angels, the healing angels, are working extensively with them in the higher realms of consciousness to put a salve or help to heal this core wounding, separation from God. And it is a delightful work. It brings us love and happiness in our hearts. So we ask you to think about your core wounding and put a name on it. And if you have more than one core wounding, we suggest that you just concentrate on one at this time. And we ask that you put that into your psyche. Think about it. Think if your core wounding is betrayal, for example, think about how betrayed you were by such and such or whomever, and bring up the residing emotion that comes with this core wounding. And take a few moments to do this. What is this emotion that is coming up? Is it anger? Is it grief? Usually when you are experiencing anger, there are underlying layers of grief. And when you are experiencing grief, there are underlying layers of anger. So humans are like onions, and they have many, many layers of emotional residue that need to be cleared in their ascension process. So take a moment and feel 100% how you feel about your core wounding. And just bring that into your body. And see where it lands in your body. And just take a moment to experience that. Bring up all the hate, all the anger, all the residue of the wound. And now I ask you to invite me and my angels into your heart. Take a moment and invite us silently into your heart. And now you are to release as much of that core wounding as you can in this short amount of time. So we ask that you take that emotion associated with the betrayal. We ask you to feel it in your body intensely. We ask the angels to uncover more pockets of the core wounding within your body. Ooh. And now we ask, with my help, to release this through the breath. We ask that you breathe this out through the mouth and release as much of the core wounding as possible. Whew, and all the associated emotions. You should feel lighter. And now the angels go into the places where you were holding that core wounding in your physical body. And they scour and cleanse and release. We want to tell you that we use a very similar practice with the fallen angels who have rejoined us in the heavenly realms to heal them of their separation wound. So now we're going to do this 2 more times. Bring in the core wounding, 1 word, and feel it in your body. Ooh, the channel's feeling it now in a different part of her body in the solar plexus. Try and tune in to where you're feeling the core wounding and bring up all the accompanying emotions. Oh, we ask that you keep inviting the angels in to work with you. And now, using your breath, we ask you to release that wound from your physical body. Very good. This is not pretty work, but it is necessary work for you to ascend with more grace and ease at this time. So again, we are going to do this one last time. And we also want to tell you that you can do this with us anytime, day or night, to heal yourselves. It is very effective and very simple. So take that core wounding and find where it's residing in your body and go there. Okay, and now the channel is feeling a different emotion. As we told you, there are many emotions associated with woundings in layers. So go where you're feeling the wound, feel the emotion associated with it. She is now feeling grief instead of anger. And go into that part of the body. And with the help of Christ and all of the angels and I, Archangel Raphael, we ask you to use the breath to blow this emotion and wound out of your body. Very good. And now, I, Archangel Raphael, send cleansing angels to the parts of the body where you released this wounding through the breath. We ask that these parts of the body be scoured and scrubbed and all residue released. We ask that these angels stay with you over the next 7 days until next Sunday's next channeling to work with you in your dream state and altered states of consciousness to facilitate the release of your core wounding. We want to thank you for your courage and your desire to heal yourselves. Humanity will be healed. It is divine edict, And it is also happening all around you as we speak. If you do not feel loved or supported or if you're feeling misunderstood, know that you can call on me, Archangel Raphael, to offer you comfort and love. We love you. The angels love you. We hold you in our arms and we send you divine blessings. We love nothing more than to work with humans in their healing process. As we are you, we are all connected by our hearts. We are all part of the divine. And as you rise, we rise. Everything comes back to the original high state of consciousness. And so it is a blessing for everyone, all of those, in and out of this process, as you are raising the collective, as you do your own personal healing. So with that, I say, please, beloveds, call on us, Archangel Raphael, Gabriel. I am speaking for my brothers and sisters, Ariel, Michael, Hanuel, Raguel. Call on Shamuel, call on Daniel, call on any of the archangels at any time. Also, if you are having a specific issue, let's say you're having a difficult time with your daughter, for instance, call on healing angels to help heal the rift in the relationship. There are angels who have specialties in all areas, more than you can possibly imagine. Invoke these angels to work with you and your daughter, for example, and let the healing begin. We are standing by always, always, and we love you. And so this is Archangel Raphael. I say adieu. Thank you very much, and call on me. Don't forget. And now the channel comes back. Well, I want to say thank you, Archangel Raphael, because I definitely felt that in my heart, my solar plexus, and on the right side of my body. Maybe it was my liver. And I definitely felt anger, grief, and accompanying emotions. So I want to thank you. We appreciate you. We love you. And if it weren't for the angels, I don't know how I could have gotten through this lifetime. So I'm here today because they were here with me. Yeah. And that makes me want to cry. Anyhow, I love the angels. So I want to thank you too. Also want to let you know when you're crying or having an emotional release, or if you're laughing. Sometimes when I bring in the angels, I'm just giggling. It's just a sign that the angels are here with you. Okay. So I want you to have a great week. I want you to know that the angels love you. They care about you. You have many friends in high places, celestial places. Don't ever forget that. Okay? And so this is Donna Carroll signing off. Have a great week, everybody. Take care.